Douglas is giving a voice to the voiceless and taking the powerful to task. Now, 8 on Your Side investigates.
9 years ago today, a hit-and-run driver struck and killed University of Tampa college student Eric Nicoletti, seconds after he crossed Kennedy Boulevard. Tonight, an 8 on Your Side investigation reveals that crosswalk dangers are worse than ever in Tampa and all across the country.
Some experts believe cell phones are to blame for this. 8 on Your Side investigator Mark Douglas shows us what he's uncovered tonight.
Well, Keith and Stacy, this is a real eye-opener. I hope folks are watching carefully tonight. Some pedestrians these days seem to care more about their smartphones than their own lives. Across the nation, pedestrian deaths are soaring, and maybe this is why. Ready, set, go. Day after day, we watch distracted pedestrians step off the curb and into the danger zone while focused on their phones. Time and again, we saw personal business, business,
Like basically, they would ask you about incentives.
and even college business clouding common sense. You were looking at your notes when you were going across that crosswalk.
Yep. I mean, usually I'm looking at my cell phone, but I'm about to go to a test, so.
From students to professionals, it's the same problem.
Like, people don't really socialize anymore. Like, you really just stay on your phone, so it's just like part of the daily life now, I guess.
We watched pedestrians texting and talking on the busiest crosswalks in Tampa. You don't think that's dangerous?
I mean, if you're not paying attention, it is.
But you were paying attention to your phone.
I look to the side.
We showed our video to safety expert Pei-Sung Lin at USF's Center for Urban Transportation Research. This doesn't surprise you?
Not surprised at all. The cell phone is so attractive, and we see that people on the phone all the time.
Neither was National Safety Council President Deborah Hersman, former chair of the NTSB.
Tampa is very typical as to what we're seeing across the nation.
And the view isn't pretty. Pedestrian deaths nationwide are at a 25-year high, and Florida has the second highest death rate in the country. More than 600 people will die here every year, and thousands more injured.
Everyone has got to have their head up. They've got to be paying attention.
A University of Maryland study points to distracted walkers in cities across America as one of the underlying causes.
Unfortunately, we've become a country of distracted walkers, distracted drivers, and frankly, we're connected to those devices throughout the day and into the evening.
It was a hit-and-run distracted driver who killed University of Tampa student Eric Nicoletti 9 years ago. He didn't do anything wrong. Nicoletti had just crossed Kennedy Boulevard with friends when the driver lurched onto the sidewalk. Cree Riley almost died that night and later testified at the driver's sentencing.
How can you do something like that?
Cree Riley now has pins in her body, metal in her jaw, and suffers chronic pain to this day.
I mean, I crushed my eye socket. I have so many scars and so many broken bones, and I still have surgeries ahead of me.
She has a message for UT students and everyone else we saw crossing city streets without a care.
You're just setting yourself up to get hurt, and it's not worth it. I mean, you'll lose so much. If you don't lose your life, you're still going to lose so much.
Now, before her injuries, Cree Riley aspired to be an engineer, but she switched to nursing school, and she just earned her degree as a tribute to all of the fine nurses at TGH who saved her life. Now, that part of the story is very personal to me because Eric Nicoletti, that's the young man who died exactly 9 years ago today, was one of my University of Tampa writing students when this happened, and I can tell you, it still strikes me today how sad that was when we found out. Wow.
You know, and it seems like the solution should be obvious. That is, pay attention. But it's not that simple, is it?
Well, it's going to take a lot of education. It's going to take a culture change, like people not smoking anymore, maybe even some government action. Honolulu is one of the cities, the first big city, actually, that has prohibited this. They fine people for this kind of behavior. And maybe it's time for Tampa to start looking at things like that, too. But just be smart. Use your common sense. Don't use your cell phone when you're crossing the street. It's just so easy.
600 pedestrian deaths, you pointed out.
Closer to 700.
Wow.
Thank you, Mark.
Sure.